They're telling us what is about to happen, and you need to stake your claim in the new American, interesting wording, millennial. The new American millennial. Not the new America millennial, the new American, like American Revolution. And how we are going to do that, I'm going to explain to you, in my opinion, what this image is telling me. Obviously, we see a lot of gold and silver because we know that gold and silver is God's money. So to me, this X in the middle could symbolize like a treasure map. Like it could be telling us X marks the spot. This is where you can find a lot of these resources at. A lot of those resources we're going to need so that we can generate a new treasury dollar that's backed up by a basket of real world assets. Creating this treasury dollar will send humanity into a quantum leap. A millennial worth of prosperity, technology, innovation is emerging. I'm not going to lie to you, I did not think I was going to be living to see the day that we become the Jetsons, like for real. But you can definitely see that they're hinting at us that the future is here.
Donald Trump signing new executive orders to expand the country's use of drones, supersonic aircraft, and flying cars. White House officials say increased drone use presents an opportunity to boost productivity and create jobs. The administration also intends to create a pilot program to develop electric air taxis. The executive order also aims to expand the use of supersonic aircraft, planes that can travel faster than the speed of sound. The White House says the executive orders are meant to accelerate American innovation.
But how do we know that it's really, truly here? Because a lot of y'all, just like myself, have been on a journey for many years. Nothing is happening from time to time, but in real reality, okay, if you're locked in and you're paying attention, there's something always happening in the background. Operation Gold Rush?
My name is Matthew Gagliotti, and I'm the head of the Justice Department's Criminal Division. Thank you all for joining us today as we announce the largest coordinated healthcare fraud takedown in the history of the Department of Justice. Today marks a decisive moment in our fight to protect American taxpayers from fraudsters and to defend the integrity of America's healthcare system. We are announcing today charges against 324 defendants for their alleged participation in healthcare fraud schemes involving approximately $14.6 billion in false claims submitted to Medicare, Medicaid, and other healthcare programs.
The largest healthcare fraud in U.S. history was just announced the day before the U.S. debt clock put a minor on the secret image as reference to the gold rush? Nah, it can't be a coincidence, right? Operation Gold Rush is cracking down on the multi-trillion-dollar healthcare fraud industry of big pharma.
Every fraudulent claim, every fake billing, every kickback scheme represents money taken directly from the pockets of American taxpayers.
Now, why is that important? Well, not just besides the fact that it is a multi-trillion-dollar industry that is just as large, if not larger than the crypto market, but that's one of the many ways that they funnel all of this printed illusional money. And part of this whole entire big pharma scheme are these vaccines. But did you know that recently they have removed many of these used to be required vaccines that were for children? It was just recently updated on January 5th of this year, where they removed a lot of these required vaccines and changed it to a shared clinical decision making. So it would be up to the parents and the pediatrician to determine whether or not this child would get this vaccine. Well, the pediatrician listened to the American Academy of Pediatricians and their recommendation, and they did not like that the CDC made changes to the vaccine guidelines. They believe that it's healthy and these children need all of these vaccines. Even if there is evidential information that the vaccines are proven not to be working, or it could have a bad chemical effect and actually hurt the child long term speaking, or give them some type of illness, they say it is about the children. Or in reality, it's about the money. Think about it. If you have a gigantic organization and it's for profit, you're going to want to try to sell that. And what's the best way to do it and distribute it is to make sure that everybody gets it. And the one administering it are getting kickbacks. The American Association of Pediatrics is hit with a RICO lawsuit case. And your pediatrician, listen to them. And the children's public schooling system listened to their state recommendation, which the state recommendation sides with whatever the pediatrician says.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Turn the friggin' frogs gay. Serious crap gay.
So if you're located in any one of these 27 states listed above my head, you might want to reach out to your state representative and let them know to update the whole entire vaccine guidelines for your public schooling system. Because there's no reason why our children's schooling system should be reliant upon this vaccine schedule from the pediatricians that are listening to these individuals that are part of this organization that is being prosecuted for RICO cases that is part of this whole entire possible big pharma scheme. Again, Operation Gold Rush, where they're going after all of these big, gigantic corporations and individuals that is part of this gigantic scheme that has been cooking for over 100 years. And the only solution? To flip the switch. 1, 2, 3. But we already know that the real ones are the ones that flip the switch, giving us hints on who can fix it, or yet who is chosen to fix it. Questioning the narrative and the problem that we have at hand. Revealing the truth so that we can come up with a solution. Or they're just giving us the blueprint for the plan to save the world. And the plan has always been the second coming of Jesus. Christ consciousness, everybody on the same exact frequency, start asking the necessary question, then we do exactly what Jesus did. He flipped the tables of the money changer, taking the power, wealth, and assets and removing it from the federal level and returning it to the state level, to the citizens, so that they can own a share of America. And it starts with the states. Look, Florida right there. Interesting enough, Florida becomes the first state to regulate stablecoins. And the power will be moved from the big banks, the large financial institutions, back to state credit unions and the community banks. You know, the ones like Metallicus that are helping onboard credit unions and financial institutions to test out their own stablecoins, while at the same time actively speaking at the US's largest credit union conference. You know that minor in Latin means Metallicus? I think X marks the spot, yo! At this moment, they are legitimately putting it right in front of all of y'all's faces on what is about to happen next. One small step into the new world. And this is why it's so important to know what you hold. Let's go.